Well, let me start by shaking your hand. Because I think we did that maybe 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But it's such an exciting thing for us. It's the beginning of a new era. We're super grateful for the Mariners because really they were the lead partner on Root Sports and they're class from top to bottom. And they have treated us in such a gracious way. But as we've evolved, one of our key objectives is we have this incredible territory. We have an incredible audience and support. How do we push to another level? And we're going to do it through this partnership. We're going to do it by making the games, all of the games, available on free over-the-air television. I've been around long enough, that's where this all started for me. But as time marched on and regionals became more and more focused and funneled, our games this year appeared on an ultra-premium channel. And for a lot of our fans, that was frustrating, and it was just enough that bar owners, for instance, maybe didn't buy that last premium tier package. Beginning next season, every game available to all of our fans, to all of those bar owners, to the entire community, and to this great territory we have throughout the Pacific Northwest.
And how huge is that just for the sport itself? I mean, to be able to push it in the Northwest and be accessible to everybody.
Well, it's actually a little bit of a movement going on inside the sports world because we've seen the regional models have been challenged, and we're pulling for Root. We pull for the Mariners, but for us, this represents, it's back to the future. And but we're seeing it in all sorts of markets. We're seeing it in Phoenix. We're seeing it in Utah with the NBA teams. The Golden Knights took their games and put them on free over-the-air television. They saw ratings increases that were substantial. I mean, John Forsland and J.T. Brown our first year, and there was magic there. And one of the great things that happened is those two guys became amazing friends from different walks of life, but the love of hockey and working together all those nights, they truly became great friends off the ice. We then added Eddie Olchuk, who's fantastic, and now you had a team backed up by others around Allison Lucan and Nick Olchuk and a great, talent team that I felt was the best in the entire league. Put us up against any other local broadcast team, at least it's a tie. And now they get what they deserve, which is a bigger audience on a flame-throwing station in partnership with you. I am going to ask them one night to put you between the benches, okay? And let's hear your hockey stuff, but if there is some scrap down there, I'm going to count on you to adjudicate that, all right? Third man in, 5-minute game.
But I agree with you. I think Forsland, and we say it all the time in the sports department, every time the broadcast comes on, I said, man, this guy is so good. You're lucky to have him.
That's Kraken hockey, baby. Yeah. And his words are now going to echo widely throughout this territory because of this great partnership. And we've had lots of big announcements, and there have been milestones. I put this up there near the top.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's exciting for both sides for sure. It's exciting for me personally because I love hockey. The players that you have brought in here, I mean, you're excited about it. We went around the locker room and you see these nameplates in here, and there's a lot of potential here for winning in the future.
Well, every player here has a story. And, the decision we made early on is that the best way to get to winning long-term is to develop. And we have worked so hard in the draft. We took players who might have added value today, but we saw that as valuable for gaining draft picks in the future, and we made those decisions. We've drafted over 30 players in these first 3 seasons, and they're performing incredible levels across the juniors and college and in our American Hockey League team. I'll just pause for a moment. The Coachella Valley Firebirds went all the way to the finals in their first year last year. 32 teams. They're the new kids on the block. They made it all the way to the finals, Game 7, overtime. I'll never forget that locker room after watching those kids battle all the way through that and losing in overtime. But the other thing in that locker room was this winning spirit, and they've done it again. They're poised to make the playoffs. I believe our record right now is the best in the entire league. And those kids are starting to show up here. And you see some of their nameplates. Those nameplates are coming down because they're going back to Coachella, and hopefully they're going to win a Calder Cup. But the future is quite bright for this. But Paul, it's that kind of storytelling we need to go deeper on. Our fans deserve it. And in the partnership that we now have with King and Kong and Tegna, we're going to do just that.
That plays an important part, doesn't it, in developing a relationship with the fans?
It does.
Getting stories told of your players, when sometimes there's only a minute here and a minute there, but to be able to go longer on these guys and find out more about them.
Well, and I remember, you so adeptly having the Mike Holmgren show, and I was so proud of the partnership that we had put together back then with King and Kong, and it aided a lot because there was a lot of transformation going on with the Seahawks at that point in time, and you needed capable people like you to narrate that journey, and that's what's going to happen. Every game will be on Kong. 15 will be on the network affiliate King. But we get you, and we're going to dust off that passion you had for hockey back in Detroit, and we're going to get that all shined up, and we're going to have just a heck of a ride together. Because I think what's going on in this locker room, while I haven't been pleased with how the season ended, there's a lot of positive here. And just as you and I walked around and looked at the nameplates of these players, it's amazing how many of these young guys are now coming to make their mark here. And in due time, this is going to be a championship organization. But we have ambitions beyond that as well, and you and I talked about that too.
Yeah. Do you feel like over the first few years of this franchise that there's this, it seems like there's tremendous loyalty to this team in a short period of time?
Yeah, the fans have been great. Now we got to do our job. But, and that's specific to what happens on the ice. I take great pride in what we've done here. And you and I were both here when the Sonics left. And it was incredible. I think in retrospect, it's more incredible how the first team could leave this market, this incredibly vibrant place where other teams have flourished. And with all due respect, moved to Oklahoma City. A city we never really thought as our competition, but somehow they took our basketball team. And the Rubik's Cube was the arena in a market that had fatigued and putting public money into facilities. And without it, it seemed to be an impossible task or a fool's journey. But we stepped up. The courage of my brother, the courage of David Bonderman, the courage of Samantha Holloway, the courage of our investors. And we not only took that roof and built a brand new arena under it. I contend it's arguably the most beautiful arena in the world. And I can tell you for certainty it's the most sustainable arena in the world. Zero carbon certified. Not only the most sustainable arena in the world, but it's the most sustainable building of its size in the entire world. And people have flocked to it for concerts and music. And we made big promises on music. We were at that point in time when the building in its prior iteration was dealing with markets like Des Moines and sort of lower third-tier markets. That was our concert level. Today we're one of the busiest venues in the world. We're, I believe, fourth in the United States in tickets sold for concerts. And that'll change a little bit because if I'm a betting man, we're going to have an NBA team. And a few of those concert dates might be taken by the return of the Sonics, but time will tell.
Man, you just throw that out there like I'm supposed to just leave it and not talk about the NBA in this building.
Anything else you want to talk about?
I think that's the worst kept secret in this town, actually, is that the NBA team, the franchise is coming back. We'll save that discussion for another day out of respect for you, but you bring up the ownership. That's where it all starts, isn't it?
Well, it's not for the faint of heart because if you're a good owner, you take it personally. So I wish we'd won more games this year. I wish all of those overtime contests had had a second point assigned to them. And so owners take it personally. But, the Bonderman family, incredible. And then we also have great investors. Jerry Bruckheimer and David Bonderman really started this journey. But we have incredible investors. The Ackerleys, who cared a lot about seeing this issue solved. Dave Wright's our vice chair. Guys like Jay Deutsch, who I've known forever, a wonderful guy named Andy Jassy. There is a really great investor sect, but it does ultimately, the decisions have to be made by the lead owner, and that is David Bonderman and Samantha Holloway. Samantha might not be as familiar to some of our fans as she's going to be. She is an incredible dynamo. She loves this city. She moved her family here. She believes deeply in what we're doing, and she also believes in what that next act's going to be. And I know we'll save that for later, but mark my words.
I know there's a lot of positivity and optimism around that subject for sure. When we're talking about the NBA, we'll save that for another time. But, well, this is a tremendous start. I'm really looking forward to diving in. I know King and Kong are looking forward to diving in. And everybody in that building is super excited for this.
Well, and it's our job to live up to that excitement. But, you know, our best days are in front of us. And evidence of that is this announcement, because this is a huge way that fans get built and developed and engaged and maintained. And I couldn't think of a better partnership. For me, it is Back to the Future, and I am thrilled to not only be working with King and Kong and Techno, but with you, sir.
Oh, thank you, Todd. I really appreciate that, and looking forward to being around this place a lot more in the future.
All right.
All right.
We'll get you a locker.